last healthcare professional we're going to talk about is a registered dietitian, Christie Harrison. She's the object of my curiosity and the impetus for this entire video. She is an anti-diet registered dietitian and a certified intuitive eating counselor. Really quick, I think it's worth adding that the word anti-diet is not a credential, it's more of a self-proclamation. I feel like I've seen a lot of dietitians on social media these days kind of add that to their I don't know, like to their headline or to their title. What does that even mean though? The definition taken directly from foodinsight.org. The anti-diet approach is in pursuit of better overall health. This approach to eating acknowledges that health is based not on whether you ate kale today, but instead it considers your mental and physical health as being equally important to your long-term well-being. Another really quick sidebar. Something that has occurred to me about this word anti-diet. The goal of the movement is to dismantle diet culture, yes. However, I feel like by coining the word anti-diet, they're not removing the stigma from the word diet as it associates with weight loss. Merriam-Webster defines a diet as food and drink regularly consumed. So if you eat food and drink anything, that's your diet. You eat a diet. Because of the weight loss industry, however, the word diet is now really just associated with weight loss, i.e., I'm on a diet. When really a diet is just the food and drink that you eat on a regular basis. I think by using the word anti-diet, they're not uncoupling diet from weight loss. Perhaps they should instead say anti-weight loss diet. However, being that I'm an aspiring bariatric dietitian, I don't think they care too much what I have to say. That was just a thought that I had. Let's proceed. Christie Harrison is on Instagram, she has a book, and she hosts her own podcast. Her opinions on dieting, exercising for weight loss, and weight loss in general are pretty clear after reviewing her social media page, her website, and listening to her podcast, which I did listen to a couple episodes. She's anti all that stuff. I've read about her a lot and her story, and like a lot of people with her opinions on dieting and weight loss, she fell into disordered eating and became unhealthily underweight, and that kind of shaped her professional career on being, you know, this anti-diet, anti-weight loss kind of thing. Let's look at a couple of her Instagram posts. Our bodies don't know or care about the reasons we might be trying to lose weight. Whether the motivation is health, comfort, aesthetics, or anything else, the same holds true. Intentional weight loss feels like famine to your body, which is why it's unsustainable and harmful. Caption reads, whether the reason for weight loss is ostensible health, comfort, aesthetics, or anything else, the same holds true. Intentional weight loss feels like famine to your body, which is why it's unsustainable and harmful. Our bodies don't know or care why we might be trying to lose weight. They just know they're in danger. Of course, pursuing health and comfort is totally understandable, although pursuing health is never a moral obligation, as is pursuing an aesthetic that we're told will lead to happiness, success, love. We all need and deserve those deeper things no matter our body size, but weight loss is not the way to achieve them, and it's physically and mentally harmful in the long run. There is a better way, and it's called health at every size. For an intro to that, check out Food Psych episode 127. Actually, listen to that episode briefly. I didn't listen to the whole thing, those things were long. Listen to the beginning of it. Something that occurred to me about this is she says, okay, intentional weight loss feels like famine to your body. But then she says your body doesn't know or care why you're trying to lose weight, your body just knows that it's in danger. So I kind of heard a contradiction in there because, like, you know, a lot of people lose weight when they're like sick or when they're recovering from an injury. That happens to a lot of people. That weight loss usually isn't intentional. They're just, you know, they're eating less because maybe they're being brought food, and, you know, the food that they're being brought is like less than what they normally eat because they can't just get up and go to the kitchen and fix their own food. Or even people in the hospital, you know, they tend to lose weight more because, again, they can't go and fix their own food. They're being brought food. So that weight loss is not intentional. So why does only intentional weight loss feel like famine to my body, but not unintentional weight loss? But it's still weight loss. She just said that your body doesn't know or care why you're losing weight. I don't know. Am I losing my mind? Can somebody please politely and calmly, like, maybe drop a comment and maybe explain that to me? Let's look at another one. Health professionals shouldn't jump to recommending food restriction as first-line treatment for people with digestive issues, because in pointing the finger at food, they risk overlooking a more likely cause, disordered eating. Caption reads, Health professionals shouldn't jump to recommending food restriction as first-line treatment for people with digestive issues, because in pointing the finger at food, there is overlook on more likely cause disordered eating. As H. Goodrich RD put it in a great post yesterday, dieting and restriction really do a number on your digestive tract. This dysfunction can create delayed gastric emptying, premature fullness, flattening of the villi that line our digestive tract, decreased absorption of nutrients, increased constipation, bloating, and gas. Disordered eating is so much more common than food intolerance, and recommending more restriction often just worsens the very symptoms we want to treat. Lots more on that and the science behind it in my book, Anti-Diet. She talks about her book a lot. So instead of prescribing elimination diets right off the bat or ever, we should first be working to help people make peace with food in their bodies. Because healing from hashtag disordered eating and hashtag diet culture is a prerequisite, if not a panache for addressing digestive issues. Did I say that right? What is that word? Let's ask Siri. I love learning new words.
Panacea.
So this post was one of the few that I shared to, I'm not gonna say which page. I'm part of a few pages for Facebook groups for dietitians and student dietitians. And I posted this post among others, and I kind of asked a question like, why is it okay that she says this kind of stuff? And I got into like a pretty heated discussion with somebody. To be honest, I was actually going to talk about it on here, and like, I can like show the comments, but I don't want to stir the pot and piss anybody off any more than they already are. Basically, I shared that post, and one thing I said was, you know, for example, people with celiac disease can't eat gluten because it makes them very, very sick. And I read that and I interpreted it as celiac is a digestive issue, so somebody with celiac disease shouldn't eat gluten. I'm not a doctor or a dietitian yet, remember? But you know, that's just what I know from school. I was like, why is she telling someone with celiac disease that it's okay that they eat gluten? Like, they're gonna get explosive diarrhea from it, you know, among other things. I actually listened to a podcast in which she was talking about, a listener submitted a question and they were talking about their celiac disease, but you know, I know I shouldn't eat gluten, but then they're recovering from an eating disorder. So like, it was tough for them to have to kind of cut out a food for their own health. But then also they're recovering from an eating disorder and being told that they can't eat a certain food. It was kind of conflicting in their head, which I can understand. And she answered their question pretty much by saying it's okay to eat It's okay for you to eat gluten for a time for your self-care and mental health. A dietitian telling someone that they should eat gluten, or that it's okay for them to eat gluten for the sake of their mental health, knowing that it's going to cause them extreme gastric discomfort. I actually have a friend who she doesn't have celiac, but she has an extreme gluten sensitivity. And what's interesting about my friend is she is also, she is recovered from an eating disorder from when she was in college. And she also, again, has a gluten sensitivity, so she does not eat gluten. She would absolutely under no circumstances eat gluten for her, quote, self-care, and give herself explosive diarrhea and a whole night on the toilet, you know, just for the sake of her self-care. I feel like there's a way to tackle that. It's tough, but I don't know, I was just surprised to hear that. She makes it a point and she's like, you know, you don't owe health to anyone. And that's something that I see a lot of these, you know, fat activists and fat positive activists saying, well, you don't owe health to anyone, because, you know, a lot of the reason that people in general try to tackle obesity is because of the negative health consequences that come with it. And they're like, well, you don't owe health to anyone. Well, you know what? I don't really agree with that. I think if you have kids, you owe health to your children. I think if you have a significant other, then you owe health to that person. And more importantly, you owe health to yourself. Why would you kind of gorge yourself with junk food just for the sake of your self-care and then say, oh, well, this is for my mental health, this is for my, you know, because I want to do it because it's making me happy. I mean, that food's not healthy and it's gonna make you sick in the long run. So I disagree with that, with them saying that you don't owe health to anyone. You owe health to your children, you owe health to the people you love, and most importantly, you owe health to yourself. Why wouldn't you want to treat your body right? Anyway, we got a little off track there. Let's read another one. Apparently today is World O-Word Day, Obesity Day. aka World #Weight Stigma Day. Just a reminder that there's no evidence higher weight, quote, causes, unquote, health problems. And weight stigma and weight cycling likely explain all the excess health risks we see in higher weight people. #Hayes, #anti-diet book. That would be her book. Caption reads, apparently today is World O-Word Day, Obesity Day, aka World #Weight Stigma Day. Just a reminder that there's no evidence that a higher weight causes health problems, and weight stigma and weight cycling likely explain all the excess health risks we see in higher weight people. For lots more on the science behind this, check out my book on blah, blah, blah. Talking about her book. You know, there's a lot of evidence that obesity is linked to a lot of chronic diseases. And in here she's positing that it's more weight stigma, which is not really, weight stigma is more of a, I don't know, I guess more of like an idea and like an experience, I think. And so she's positing that the experience of weight stigma is probably what's linked to type 2 diabetes and heart disease. That's what I got from that. If you think otherwise, please calmly and politely drop a comment and we'll start a conversation about it. Okay, let's read this last one. There's no way to make anyone's body smaller without causing serious damage to their relationship with food and often their overall well-being. Caption reads, there's no way to make anyone's body smaller without causing serious damage to their relationship with food and often their overall well-being. Intentional weight loss disrupts your ability to eat intuitively, robbing you of the peace with food that is your birthright. And the longer you pursue weight loss, the more disordered your relationship with food tends to become, often with disastrous consequences for your mental and physical health. Edit, to be clear, I'm talking here about intentional weight loss and deliberate efforts at shrinking, not the unintentional weight loss that may or may not occur for a small percentage of people through recovery from disordered eating. You deserve to feel peaceful and secure with food. You deserve to have your needs met and to heal from the deprivation that diet culture imposes. And you deserve all of these things at any size, including the very largest sizes. #anti-diet, #Hayes, #health at every size, intuitive eating, fat positive, fat acceptance, diet culture, the the life thief. I've listened to a couple of her podcasts and she refers to the pursuit of weight loss and dieting as the life thief. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I read this post and it triggered me. I actually decided to listen to that podcast episode and hear her out. I'm gonna be honest and forthright. I did not listen to the whole episode. It was very long. But I listened to the part surrounding this statement to hear what she had to say about it. I also wanted to see if she offered any resources or like evidence to support the claim that she made. In her podcast, she'll say the resources to everything we talked about in this episode are listed on, on the webpage. And I visited that webpage and, it was really just resources that are like, here's a link to my book and like, here's, just like, it was actually more advertising stuff than anything. I was looking for like links to studies or something like that, and I didn't see any of that. So this kind of leads me to believe that her saying that weight loss ultimately causes damage to your overall well-being is more of a statement that she's making as a result of her own personal negative experiences with disordered eating and her attempts to lose weight. I think this triggered me because, and I don't get triggered a lot. At my heaviest weight was 163 pounds. I wasn't obese, obviously. I'll put a picture of myself up somewhere. I wasn't obese. I was a little bit overweight, but I was metabolically healthy, and that was maybe about a year after I finished competing, and I put on all that weight. Physical things were off with me too, like my knees hurt, for example, when I squat, and that's just something that never happened to me. My knees would hurt whenever I'd be on the Stairmaster or the treadmill, and that's not something that I had ever experienced before. So I'm not gonna use the word diet because I didn't diet. I didn't do keto. I didn't do paleo. I didn't do any kind of crazy, ridiculous nonsense to lose weight. I cut my calories by like anywhere from like 1 to 400 off my what I had been eating, which was a lot for me to get up to that weight. I lost that 20 pounds over the course of 6 months. I didn't do anything crazy. Christie Harrison says that I'm damaged from that. And I question that because I want to know what she says is damage. Like, how does this damage manifest itself? Like, I make sure that I eat a balanced diet, including but not limited to fudge-covered Oreos. And, like, is that damage because I only eat 2 Oreos instead of the whole box? Like, am I damaged because I try to get to the gym, you know, X amount of times a week. I was gonna go after I finish filming this, but it's getting late and I'm tired and I have schoolwork to do. So I might skip today, which is not a big deal. Is that my damage manifesting itself? Like, I wanna know what this damage is. Like, what does she see as damage? How does this damage manifest itself? And I couldn't find any sort of literature or supporting evidence of her statement about that. Really quick, some other quotes by Christie Harrison. Weight loss causes more harm than good in Food Psych episode 210, as well as other places. There's no convincing evidence to suggest that high weight is a risk factor in and of itself. Blog post titled "The Truth About COVID-19 and Weight" will be linked below. We can't say that being at the higher end of the BMI spectrum causes any health conditions, even if higher weights are associated with these health conditions. Another blog post titled "The Truth About That New Fat But Fit Study" that will also be linked below. And in that same blog post, she says, prescribing weight loss is just not ethical healthcare. So me, as a student of dietetics, as someone who holds a degree in biology, as a fitness professional, is everything that I'm learning and have learned wrong? Are bariatric surgeons wrong for giving people weight loss surgery? Is Dr. Nowzaradan of My 600-Pound Life wrong? According to her, he is unethical for helping people lose weight. He's been practicing medicine for years, probably longer than she's even been alive. There's also her fellow dietitians. There are a lot of bariatric dietitians. Are they unethical because they help people lose weight? I don't think they are. They're practicing based on the evidence and data that demonstrates a strong link between obesity and chronic disease. They're doing their job to help people affected by obesity. I mentioned briefly that I had a negative interaction with one of my peers on one of the Facebook groups I'm a part of, and it was about Christie Harrison. The reason I didn't want to talk about it was because if I sit here and tell you what happened, it's gonna just sound like I'm dumping all over her when I'm really not. I'm just telling you what happened. And I mean, I will just say it ended negatively. I got censored because my post got comments disabled. I felt like we both made good points, but ultimately the conversation just turned really sour and like admin got involved. It was just a mess. I was gonna talk about it, but I have it like all in my script here. I really was gonna talk about it, but at the last minute I decided not to. You know, I don't wanna just sit here and it seemed to you guys like I'm bashing all over somebody, when again, I'm not bashing all over anybody. I'm just telling you what happened. So I guess I'm just gonna leave it at that. But after the thread, I got a couple DMs from people on the page that were like, hey, what happened to the comments? Like, what happened? Like, people were talking, you know, like good discussion got going. I started talking to one person, and this one person said, you know, I agree with you. She says a lot of stuff that can be really misleading and dangerous to some people who aren't really informed. And she ultimately, our conversation ended with, she was like, why don't you like contact her and like see what she has to say? And I really did think about that. So I went to her Instagram, Christie Harrison's Instagram. It's pretty clear that her DMs are closed. And I tried forever to find an email address. I don't know why it took so long. She has like email her team for if you want to be featured on the show, if you want to submit a question, like if you want information on the book, like there's questions for everything except for like, hey, I'm just a person who wants to talk. But finally, I was able to just find like a regular admin email and I sent the email and I'm awaiting a response from someone who's not a robot. I got a response, but it was like the copy and paste, like, thank you for emailing our team kind of response, you know? So that's where that is. I think if I ever get a real live response back from her, I'll probably share it with you guys. In conclusion, a trend that I noticed about a lot of the people that we discussed today, they all have their own negative experiences with dieting, which led them to disordered eating, which then led them down a rabbit hole of just trying to make peace with their bodies and with food. And ultimately, it led them to this fat positivity, fat acceptance, and a little bit, in my opinion, some of y'all might not like this, but in my opinion, a little bit of science denial. To be honest, it's sad. It's sad that people dieted or were made to diet so much to a point that it completely just kind of pushed them over the edge and led them to resent any and all forms of weight loss, even if medically necessary. Fat people, obese people, morbidly obese people, 1000% deserve respect and to not be judged. And you deserve to feel beautiful in the skin that you were in. However, I feel like If you're a healthcare professional, that respect should come in the form of telling you the truth about your condition. I get it. It's hard to hear. It's hard to hear that your lifestyle and diet choices, among other things, have potentially led you to the point where you're at, where your health is starting to deteriorate. It's tough. In the words of a dietitian who follows me on Instagram and actually commented on a photo when I was talking about something like this, he said, "The truth needs to be told, even if it hurts feelings." Finally, I firmly believe that there is a diet culture, and I hate it. The diet culture that I want to dismantle is detox teas and unqualified trainers on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and that stupid show, The Biggest Loser. I hate that show. That's the diet culture that I want to dismantle. However, I think a lot of these people that we discussed today are kind of extreme on what the words diet culture should include. For example, if I want to eat a salad instead of a slice of cake, that's now fat phobic, and that's now diet culture taking a hold of me in its clutches. I don't think that's diet culture. I don't think that's fat phobic. I would just prefer a nice salad sometimes. I do sometimes eat salad for a snack because I'm a freak like that. If it's diet culture or fat phobia for me to choose water over soda, then I think that that's kind of the problem. We have to have these discussions, and we have to have them civilly and respectfully, or else we're never gonna get anywhere. If you've made it to this point, thank you so very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below and tell me what you guys think about this video. It's a little bit different than my anti-MLM videos, which are still fun to make, but you know, I'm not only about anti-MLM. So if you have an idea for like a nutrition, health, or fitness kind of thing that you want me to talk about, let me know. You know, as far as nutrition, you guys know I'm not an RD yet, but you know, talk about it as within my scope. And you know, I'm a personal trainer, so I'll say whatever I want about dumb fitness stuff. So if you come across anything, shoot me a DM on Instagram or drop a comment and let me know. Please like, subscribe, and thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Bye. All right, who wants to say bye? Zeus, do you want to say bye? Oh, it's a big stretch. Hey, baby. Oh, hey, you want to say bye? Are we saying, okay, can you say bye? Can you say bye? Zeus, come here. Sit. Good boy. No, he wants the bone from Onyx. All right, whatever. Just say bye. Somebody look cute at the camera and say bye. Yeah.